on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
And actually, the first topic is what I sent Seth some images of. Apparently, these screenshots that have been leaked are apparently rumored screenshots for the upcoming Platinum Games Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Now, this game was, I think, first rumored to be titled Out of the Shadows. And now, with one of the images that I sent you, it said something else like Mutants in Manhattan or something
Mutants
like that.
in Manhattan, yeah, that's the one I'm currently looking at.
But let's first go to the Raphael one.
Okay, hold on, let me go all the way back to the beginning. You're just scrolling. Whoops, scrolled too far. Okay.
First, let's take a look at this Raphael one. Raphael, obviously the turtle designs are going to be a lot different than what we expected.
Kinda yes and kinda no. The problem comes down to a matter of most people who know the Ninja Turtles know the cartoon. And, of course, the Ninja Turtles cartoon was based off the comic books by Eastman and Laird, if I remember correctly. And the comic books were supposed to be like a gritty noir-style type of comic book. But, in order for them to get the rights to toys, which is kind of what they were wanting to do, because as most people know, as soon as you start getting in, toys and merchandise, that's when the real money starts coming in from the comic book industry. They couldn't really market it towards children, which is kind of what comic books are supposed to be marketed toward. So they had to create our TV show.
The one that we grew up with in the late 80s, early 90s?
Yep. And, I mean, Turtles have gone through multiple different variations. Like, there was the one that was running for a while, I think off of Fox.
Yeah.
And it was, like, a lot darker and a lot grittier, but it still didn't quite capture the attitude of the Turtles. Now they're running the Nickelodeon show, and I told Bill that I thought the Nickelodeon show was awesome, and he was like, no, screw that, no. Then he started watching it, and he was like, holy crap, dude, this is amazing. And I said, see, I told you. Now, the other day when we were all hanging out, it was me, Bill, Scotty, and, of course, Bill's girlfriend and his daughter. And we were sitting around watching some Turtles, and you were still kind of iffy with it.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I'm kind of iffy. I haven't gone around to watching a full episode. Well, except for the times over at Bill's.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, that's complete dog crap right there, because we watched, like, 5 episodes, I think, maybe.
But I mean, like, here at home, I haven't.
Yeah.
Because here at home, I have, like, the first season, and I haven't gone around to watching it.
Well, the problem is when you buy the actual DVDs, it's not actually season, it's story arc. So, technically speaking, in order to get the first season of it, you would have to watch, like, the first 2 or 3 story arcs. Then after the first 2 or 3 story arcs are done, that's your first season. Then you gotta go into, like, the next 3 story arcs, that's your next season. And then the current 3rd season, I think they just released the ass end of the story arc DVDs for the third season, if I can speak correctly.
But back to this image.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, when it comes down to it, like, this looks more like the comic book style of Turtles.
Yeah, I mean,
it's different.
It's definitely different.
Yeah. I know they released that Nickelodeon version of the Turtles game, and that one did not look like this. Like, this definitely looks like they're trying to go towards, like, the more... I'm trying to think of how to describe how this looks. It looks like Beautiful Joe, like that type of art style, but somehow it looks like it works for these. Like this version of the Turtles. It looks like it works for them.
Well, with this, we're looking at Raphael attacking some rock soldier creature.
It's definitely a rock soldier. It's like the Dimension X rock soldier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but the design on the size looked different than normal ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Raphael's like got some kind of headphones on or something. Which...
I kind of see what you're talking about with, like, that metal piece, but yeah. I don't think it's actually headphones or anything like that. Like, it might be, because he's got the bandages all over his arms and hands and knees, it might be like some extra bandages on his head or something.
And in the corner of this picture, it says Pure Xbox, and that's probably the source of these images that we're going through here.
Yeah.
And, right here we got Raphael attacking a rock soldier. Let's just go with that for now. And we go to the next one, and we have what looks like Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael fighting Bebop?
Yeah, it's definitely Bebop. I'm trying to see, because it looks like Leo might be attacking somebody else in the back. Like, he's about to, like, start doing, like, a side kick, like a roundhouse kick to somebody. But I'm not sure if they're just attacking a giant form of Bebop, or if like if they've already taken out Rocksteady, or if maybe like Rocksteady's behind Bebop, but it doesn't look like it.
But again, on the Donatello, it looks like you got those headphones things again.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of the weapons that they're using are lighting up now. Which is...
It might be like a power thing, because I noticed when I was running through the images and stuff earlier, like, we'll get to one later where you could see Leo and his katana up close, and at first I thought it was just like a power-up for it or something. Like, somehow there's like an item you can get, or after you get so many like hits on the combo. Because the last picture with Raph, his Sai was lighting up as well. Like, it still had that red glow off of it.
But it was barely.
Yeah.
It was just there. But
yeah.
with the previous image, it looked like it was inside of a sewer. With this image, it looks like you're inside of a bank vault.
Which, that one wouldn't surprise me, like Bebop and Rocksteady break into a bank, like they're going to rob it.
They usually break into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, the next image we have is, once again, the four turtles, but it looks like in a subway car about to hit them. But Leonardo has got his glowing katana. It doesn't even quite look like the katana on the back one. It looks more like a short sword.
Well, again, that could just be the way that the spatial dimension from the image is. Yeah. Like, it just looks shorter. But again, my thing with it is like, you see the blues coming off of it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see that in other images as well. So I don't know if somehow, like, something happened where they unlocked some ability to, like, increase their weapons or something.
Or, like, it could just be another, like, a bonus power for a certain time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it might just be a matter of, like, that's just their weapons now. Like, somehow in this game, that's what their weapons are going to be. Or if, like, you know, I had said before, if it's just a matter of, like, there's a power-up they got, or it's an upgrade or something.
And, again, it looks like some kind of headset right there, because it looks like that little piece of antenna sticking up on each of the turtles.
Yeah, it actually is. It's a headset. Now that I can see it clearly, it's definitely a headset. And now that I've zoomed in, I've realized that their faces look ridiculous.
Yeah, their faces look ridiculous. I mean, the design on the turtles is a bit but then again, it's supposed to be a bit gritty as well. Mm-hmm. So the next image is apparently Leonardo, Michelangelo, and I guess Donatello back there taking out some foot?
Judging by their clothes, yes, they look like foot soldiers, but I'm kind of confused as to, like, what model they are.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was a human, if they're robot. If they are robot, are they like the standard robot? Are they like an advanced form, like they're supposed to be like the heavy troopers? Because in our other games, like the arcade games and that, they had like different variants of the foot soldier.
Yes, yeah, different colored ones.
Well, yes, you would have different colored, but you would also have like I can't remember if it was in the second Turtles game or if it was in the fourth Turtles game, but there was one known as like the heavy, what was it? It was the heavy soldier, and essentially he wore like extra body armor and stuff, and it took like a lot more to like actually kill him. I could be wrong, but I could swear there was something like that in one of the games where like they wore extra armor, and in order to do it, you actually had to waste your health performing your power move. to actually, like, take them out.
But yeah, this image, well, here, this is happening on the streets of the city.
Yep.
It's like broad out in front of everyone to see. So it's like, yeah, the ninjas aren't being quite so sneaky.
Yeah, but they always get away with that in the games. They always find, like, some excuse where it's like, even though, yes, they are out in the middle of the streets, like, it might be a time of day, which in New York City is ridiculous to say, because New York is kind of like Las Vegas or Chicago or stuff like that, where quite literally there is no such thing as the city has shut down. Like, there's always something going on, and there's always traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
But they could say that it's a part of town where, like, the police are occupying it and they've shut down the streets looking for something, or, you know, something weird's gone on. And
it would be funny if there's like a car chase going on while this fight is happening too.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually would be hilarious. The cops drive by and you can actually jump out of the way and let a car take out a foot soldier.
So this next image is looking like Donatello, and I'm guessing Raphael fighting a few different dressed foot soldiers with some different weapons.
Yeah, that's definitely Wrath. And yes, these are definitely different foot soldiers.
And this is obviously inside one of the skyscrapers or something that's being built.
Yeah, it's inside of a building that's undergoing construction. But again, they also had, literally in the last Turtles movie that came, or not Turtles movie, in the last Turtles game that came out, the one that was supposed to be a combination of the Turtles movie and the Nickelodeon cartoon, there was a sewer level where you had to deal with subway trains, a separate sewer level. There was it wasn't a bank, if I remember correctly. You actually went into the TGRI building. I don't know why I had a retard moment there and couldn't think of it. But anyway, you actually went into that building. There was a skyscraper that was under construction that you had to go into. There was you went to one of the shipping dockyards. So while you're at the docks, there was like a bunch of shipping containers, and you had to fight Baxter Stockman and the Mousers, including like a giant Omega Mama Mauser type of thing. Like, it was ridiculous.
And this next image here, which is kind of small, but we'd kind of have to zoom in a bit, but it says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan, and it gives a group picture here.
Well, I was about to say you might have to zoom in, but thank God for Messenger, it actually resized it for me.
But yeah, that's one of the titles apparently for this. Like I said before, another title was Out of the Shadows. And then the next image after that is just the group image itself with some comic scans in the back.
Yep.
Which, yeah, one I can see is
the one right next to Michelangelo is the Krang. Like, the actual, it's Krang inside of,
an Utrom.
Yeah, his little robot thing.
Shell thing.
Yeah. And then, Bebop and Rocksteady are right above, Mikey. It looks like, yep, that's supposed to be Splinter right next to Leo's katana. Right above Donnie's bow staff is Shredder. And then it looks like there's just a random building next to Wrath's size.
That might be the Shredder's hideout building.
That one actually wouldn't surprise me. Because I know in one of the Fandom Knight episodes, it was a long time ago. In fact, it might even be under the Reploid Productions channel. We sat and read, because they had re-released all the comics in essentially like a hardback graphic novel style, like a 20-year anniversary edition or 25-year anniversary or something weird like that. But we actually sat and read the comic for a bit and showed off some of the pictures and stuff. And I do believe that actually is the building that they go in and kill the Shredder in the very first comic. And yes, in the very first comic, they run into the Shredder, go into his building, and kill Shredder in the first book.
But from what you've seen from these images, if these images are what it's going to look like, would you be interested in a Turtles game that looks like this?
Surprisingly, yes. I know that these last two, like the one where it's the title and then the one where it's just the
Turtles.
Well, yeah, just the Turtles with the comic book images, which is essentially the same thing as the one that has the title on it. They just cropped off the title and made it look a little bit more high res. But yeah, even with the way they look and everything, like you could definitely tell that the style is trying to go towards like the grittiness of the comic books. Excuse me. And like the weapons look a little off, but again, it would have to come down to a matter of I'd have to see how they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like the Sentai. You know, when we're reviewing the Sentai costumes, sometimes just seeing them doesn't really do much. Like, I'd have to see it in motion.
Yeah.
So maybe if they release, like, a
trailer.
Yeah, a trailer for the game or somebody
gameplay
playing
footage.
it. Yeah, then I'd be able to make a better judgment. But just looking at these, yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with these. Like I said, you know, me and Bill sat down and played a few years back that, the Nickelodeon Turtles game that they had released for Xbox 360 and PS3, I think it was.
I think that was PS3 and 360, but 360 also had two of them. But then again, the 3DS had two of them as well.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we were playing that one, and I mean, it was awesome. The only thing that sucked about it was you had to get so much of, like, a score to get so many points, and for every so many points, you could dump them into, like, a new stat. Well, one of the stats that you could use was essentially, like, a super move, but Bill and I couldn't figure out how to use the super move, whereas the computers could. So we would constantly buy, like, the super moves for the people that we weren't using. So, like, he would constantly be Leo, and then I'd switch between, like, Donnie and Mikey.
Actually,
And it would kind of go along with in the cartoon how like Donatello now has it where he can hit a button and his bow staff actually turns into like a giant spear, and Michelangelo actually has the what is it? It's a comma with a chain attached to it, like he can turn his chucks into that.
Well,
so that way then they actually have like bladed weapons.
There was also a game that was digitally available for PS3 and 360 called Out of the Shadows that wasn't like the Nickelodeon series, but then again it did also have the Nickelodeon title on it for some odd reason.
Yeah, I think that's the one that Bill and I were playing.
Yeah.
And like I said, that one, like, there were times where it looked like completely like bowling shoe ugly, to put it nicely, but it was still a fairly fun game because it was just like most Turtles games. It was like your standard beat 'em up, and that's what this looks like. Is it's just another standard beat 'em up, and for Turtles, it works.
I think the one major thing that would make people actually accept this game is if there's multiplayer in it. Because
there should be, but the problem when it comes down to multiplayer is if you're trying to play like a local game, they usually only allow like 2-player for a local game, and you'd have to go online in order to do 4-player.
Yeah, but I mean,
and for some people, online doesn't exactly work out.
Well, what I mean is not have it like that movie, the TMNT movie video game, where it was only one person switching between
the different Turtles. Yeah.
I mean, that was one.
That one was more of a throwback to our NES game, and
yeah,
I think that's enough said.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this could be the way the images look, like you said, unless we actually see a trailer with gameplay footage. This could be a good game, a good Turtles game.